So today I wanted to talk about a book series that I really liked, and an author I really like in general, actually. It's Rick Riordan, the Percy Jackson books. I started reading the Percy Jackson books when I was 13, 14, around there, and I got hooked. It was one of those series that I couldn't put it down. I couldn't focus on anything. I had to have the next book. And when Heroes of Olympus came out, when it started coming out, I remember when Mark of Athena came out, I was ecstatic. In the same night, I bought Mark of Athena, Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena. There's 5 in that series. Hang on. It was The Lost Hero, Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena, House of Hades, Blood of Olympus. I bought Mark of Athena, and then one night before my birthday, and then on my birthday I got House of Hades and Blood of Olympus. Now these are books that they're action, they're Greek mythology, they're everything I wanted in a book when I was 13. I wanted something that would take me on a wild adventure. And Percy Jackson did that. And not to mention, it's hilarious. I mean, when we first meet Percy Jackson, he's 12. And we watch him grow from a 12-year-old to an 18-year-old. Is it 18? 19? Don't know. Somebody will correct me on that, though. I'm confident that somebody will. But we watch him grow as a person and as a character. Through the first book, Percy's personality summed up is, what's going on? I'm doing what now? What? And that's Percy. Annabeth is more, Percy, are you this stupid? Are you this stupid? One of the reasons Percybeth is my OTP. They're so polar opposite that it hurts. Like, Annabeth is bookish and intelligent, and Percy's that ADHD kid that sits in the back of the class and doesn't pay attention. On purpose. So, but, I mean, in the first book, the first, thing that happens in the first book is Percy's class is on a field trip to a natural history museum to look at the Greek and Roman, well, more the Greek myths, and we get to see that Percy's Latin teacher is his favorite teacher and is one of the only classes he paid attention in because he liked Greek mythology so much. And then as we get into it, Percy's getting chased by all these monsters toward Half-Blood Hill. He finds out his best friend is a satyr, which is a half-goat, half-human, to clarify. And through the book, he gets to Camp Half-Blood. He finds out his Latin teacher is Chiron from the Greek myth, like the centaur. He finds out his Latin teacher was a centaur the whole time. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd be a teeny bit freaked out. And Then we go on that Zeus is saying that Percy stole his Master Bolt because it's missing. So Percy has to go on this dangerous 12-year-old Percy Jackson, who doesn't know anything, has to go on this quest to get the Master Bolt back, or find out who took it. And he takes Annabeth and Grover, and they find out what's happening. And by the end of the book, the first one, they find out that it's Luke Chastelain who stole the Master Bolt, who's trying to cause a war between the Greek gods because the King of the Titans is rising again. So we get that, and that's pretty much the first book. The second one starts, let me think. Percy's at a new school, cannibals attack him, and the school gets blown up. Oh, and he finds out he's got a Cyclops brother. Yeah, that one threw me. But they go, and the Sea of Monsters, it's hard to explain because it got really crazy, like really quick. But I loved it. I loved it. And then Curse of the Titan, the Titan's Curse, excuse me, was the one where we find Bianca and Nico D'Angelo. And a lot of people will argue that Nico is their favorite Percy Jackson character because of what happens in the third book and what he turns into or grows to be. But yes, Nico, I like Nico, so I can't argue. He in the beginning, Nico's 12 like Percy was. Or is he 12? He's 12 in the Titan's Curse. So thought I was gonna sneeze. So Nico is basically Bianca's his only family. All he's got is Bianca. They're orphans. But anyways, the Hunters of Artemis show up and offer Bianca a spot in the Hunters of Artemis. And Bianca takes it. Which means Bianca goes with Artemis while Nico has to go to Camp Half-Blood. Nico is hurt. He's been abandoned, basically. And then Apollo shows up. Oh my goodness. The character of Apollo is so narcissistic and needy. I love the character because it reminds me of, those narcissistic characters that we love that we shouldn't love but we do, like Tony Stark and Sirius Black and Wolverine and those kind of characters, like no, not Draco Malfoy. Yeah, Draco Malfoy in those. So narcissistic that you want to hate him, but you can't, because it's hilarious to watch and see and be a part of. But Percy and Apollo, it's kind of like a Tony Stark Sirius Black mix. Like, he's not, like, as awesome as Tony or Sirius, but he acts like he is. And he's the god of poetry, music, the sun, medicine, you know. I mean, the man can't decide what hobby he wants. So, he's just a teensy bit not like Sirius or Tony. But it's the first time we meet Apollo is in the Titan's Curse. And Artemis, actually. No. Yeah. So, again, we go full circle. In the end of the first series, the series of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, we end with a battle with Luke Chastelain, the son of Hermes, because he's the one trying to raise the Lord of the Titans. He's trying to overthrow Zeus and Poseidon and Hades and everybody. So, it turns out, at the end of the book, that Nico and Bianca are children of Hades. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the beginning, but spoilers. Bianca dies, Nico gets mad at Percy because she died, and Nico summons skeletons from the underworld. But that's how they figure out that but Percy keeps it to himself because he doesn't want Luke finding out and using Nico to overthrow the gods. So, in Battle of the Labyrinth, we see the labyrinth, you know, the Minotaur's labyrinth. That. It has become a major problem because there's an entrance to the labyrinth in the heart of Camp Half-Blood. And they think that Luke was trying to find a way to use that to his advantage to attack Camp Half-Blood. And so Annabeth finally gets to lead a quest, something she's wanted since she was 7 years old. So she chooses Percy, Grover, and Tyson, Percy's Cyclops half-brother, to go with her. So they go into the labyrinth. They find Annabeth's half-brother, which is the maker of the labyrinth. I can't say his name, but Google it. They find him. They're too late. But in the end of it, Percy and Luke ended up fighting in the labyrinth. Annabeth almost took a knife for Percy, but her half-brother, the maker of the maze, jumped in the way and got himself killed, which ended the labyrinth. The labyrinth was gone with his life force. So that's the fourth book. And the fifth and final book of the, what's it called? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That's the first book of the next series. The Last Olympian. Percy is a war general, basically, in that book. And Annabeth, Percy takes a dip in the river Styx. Percy does what Achilles did. With Nico's help, of course. So, they do that. Percy's Invenerable, as Markiplier says, invenerable. Because apparently I can't say invincible without stuttering today. So, invenerable. Anyway. He's invenerable, and except for one spot, the small of his back. And one of the demigods working for Kronos knew that. So he tries to, stab Percy in the back, basically. And Annabeth jumps in the way. Annabeth takes a knife for Percy in the end. So I'm going to be doing a video on Heroes of Olympus next. That'll upload tomorrow, probably? Tomorrow? If I get it done. So anyway, book rant, or book thoughts 2. Percy Jackson, the Hero of Olympians. Percy Jackson and the Heroes of, and the Olympians.